Am I the only one who can't hear anything?
Yeah, I can't either.
Can you hear?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. So I have here with me my wonderful cast, well, most of them anyway. One of them is experiencing some technical difficulties, so they'll be joining us here in just a few minutes. But I'll have them go around and introduce their characters real quick. Let's go ahead and start with Kelton. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Kelton. You can find me on places on the internet as Fesnerax or Fesnerax the Fantastic. Fesnerax is with a PH. I will be playing Billy Burrows, and he is a established empath weaver who plumbs the deeps of sleep. And thank you guys all for coming. Can't wait.
All righty. Joanne?
Hi, I'm Joanne Wallace, the Angel of Angel Citadel. I am playing Claire Thespian, a goetic who does stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Give me a sec. I forgot to get my character sheet up. I was busy with our own technical difficulties.
Yes, we were. You are a bizarre, gallant goetic who listens to the whispers.
That's the cheeky boo.
And last but not absolutely certainly not least, Jeff.
Hi, my name is Jeff. I am Jeffrey Boring on Discord and RJ Vaden 3 elsewhere around the internet. I play Albion J. Finch, a bizarre empath of the Order of Makers who walks with a secret companion.
And his secret companion is awesome.
He's a sneaky little fella.
So we have our most of our group here. Let's talk about what happened real quick last session. So you introduced your characters. You spent some time going about daily lives. We had an impromptu concert at the Vance College that was, featuring a trumpet and some backup ghostly assistance with an impromptu vocals section. And let's see, what else happened?
We had a party.
We had a party. You went to a party. Where did you go to a party at? If this were D&D, I'd be offering inspiration. Do I got to offer a joy? Is that the deal?
We went to a party at a guy's house in the place that I can't remember.
You went to a party at Kudash's house, a mansion in crud. Where is his mansion?
Yeah, that's right.
Strange Glass District.
Yeah, that's it. Strange Glass. Well, there's 17 districts, So you went to a party, and what was that party like?
It was busy. We met a lot of interesting people, not least of whom was Kudash himself and his lovely bride. And,
Esmeralda.
And we made some inroads with other Vizsla in town.
That's right, you did. And there was some strange things that happened at that party. You got to try some interesting drinks and hear some interesting gossip. And then you went home.
We got to hear a lot about the chick from the other shore.
The girl from the other shore, yes.
Yes. Evidently she's a goddess. They kept saying she was a goddess.
Or at least some people think that she is. So
I'm not going to say it.
we'll see what happens. But yeah. So that's where we start. You guys went home. You had a kind of exciting evening, a very pleasant conversation, and got to meet your host, Kudash. And you went home and you went to bed. In the morning, Kelton, Billy wakes up to a blood curdling scream that comes from it's muffled, like it's coming from outside your bomb casing.
Ugh. The new thing about that is it's coming from outside of the bomb casing instead of inside of my head, because I'm usually having some sort of night terror. But that's novel. So I'm going to, let's see. I will immediately make my way back to the little hatch on the back of the bomb by the tail fin, open it up, take a peek around.
Okay, as you look around, your neighbor, Virginia, is still clinging to the side of the bomb casing, but instead of the vibrant green that she normally is, she's now a very deep purple, and all of the leaves are drooping.
Ugh. Uh, Virginia, are you doing all right? You don't look so good.
She doesn't answer. Make a perception check.
Okay.
And welcome, Chris, back from the shadow.
Do I wanna? Yeah, I'm gonna. Why not? I'm curious. So that is a 4.
Okay. You, as you're watching, one of the leaves falls off and just kind of flutters down into whatever it is that's between Fartown and the rest of Saturnine. Some half world pocket dimension space kind of area, and just flutters away and disappears.
I, hearing no response, Billy's kind of like, do I want to help her? She's pretty irritating. It's the right thing to do. So I will look around for my coffee. Don't see it. Better act fast. And I will weave together. Let me see really fast. Joy from freedom and recuperation from sleep. And lay a hand on the vine and see if I can sort of heal her, help her recuperate.
Okay, go ahead and
And that
roll
would
2
be,
dice for that.
yeah, I don't, what level effect am I trying to do here?
Give me just a second here, I'll tell you.
I'm trying to decide. I think it would probably be like, well, if I can inflict 1 damage with a level 1 effect, I can probably heal 1 damage?
Probably. That, yeah, sure.
This seems more like a heal a wound sort of thing, though. I mean, she's not even speaking. So I'm trying to find this. The fun thing about Weavers, folks. I don't think she's sleeping. Oh, 3 damage, so it'll be a level 3 effect. So I'm blowing 3 sorcery right out of the gate.
Okay.
And for Virginia Creeper of all people. Did it, burned it.
Okay. You cast your spell, and I need you to make a sorcery check. This one is going to require 2 dice, but because you're using magic, I'm going to give you those 2 dice. Okay. And the target for that effect is going to be a 6.
Uh, uh. Well, okay, wait. But I have to spend 3 to do it.
To cast the
Since I
spell,
spent, and then
you have
it's been a
something
long
actively
time.
working against you.
Yeah. So my question is, because sorry, again, it's been a long time. Since I used that weave and I had to spend 3 bene, do I add anything to this roll? Or do I just have to spend that as the cost of the spell? Does it also add on? I can't recall.
I'm going to say it adds on.
Yeah, I believe that's how it's supposed to work.
I think
This
so. But
I
the
am I
think
sorcery
adding
you
it
on?
does.
spend on the spell is part of the venture.
So
So-
it adds to the venture of you overcoming the effect.
Right. Am I
That sounds
adding
right.
3 though? Because that's what I spent. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the level of
So-
the spell, right?
Yeah. So that gives me a 6 and a 4.
Okay. So with one success,
Yeah.
you
The
see
6 was on the magic, if that matters.
No, as long as you didn't throw a flux, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you see spots of green come back along the vine and along the leaves, but it doesn't turn all the way. And as you do, there's a kind of a groan, like someone had just woken up from being knocked unconscious or something like that, right? So you're coming around and who there, right? So Virginia doesn't really move, but she does manage to get out sp- sp- spiders.
Spiders. Virginia, you what happened?
She doesn't answer anymore.
Spiders where?
Make another perception check. This is going to change enough that you can take a
Ooh.
second one.
I'm not adding anything, and I'm not trained, but that's a 5.
That'll be enough. You see along the length of her vine, skittering back towards the wall, a single spider. As you watch, it disappears in a crack in the wall. One of the ones where your bomb fragment, smashed into the wall and it cracked outward, right? The spider cracks. It disappears into one of those.
The spider vanished into a spider crack.
Indeed, it did. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shut the door. Run inside, dodge under like moving parts, step over weird rotating bolt on the floor, turn on the coffee pot on my way to the other end of the bomb, where I open up another hatch while knocking. And oh my goodness, what was his name? It was Jude. And again, knock, knock, knock. Hey, Jude, you okay? You in there?
Yeah. No. I'm just practicing my routine. I've got a gig now on Thursday.
No, it's great. You you got seen any spiders lately, or everything okay in there?
Spiders, where? And he jumps up on a chair that he's right next to.
Oh, always so helpful. Yeah, I saw one outside. I think something's wrong with Mrs. Creeper out there.
Oh, Virginia?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is Virginia. Something's always been wrong with her.
No, she looks like nearly dead.
Oh, that kind of wrong.
Right.
All right.
Quick GM question, or
Yes.
actually maybe more of a question to the group. Kelton knows that, but now I can't remember which. I think it was one of you talks to spiders. I don't remember which
Sterling
one.
does.
It was Sterling. Okay, that's what I thought. But Billy didn't really get a chance to talk to Sterling, I don't think. So Billy doesn't know that, right?
I did come up and help your performance, but you wouldn't know
Yeah.
about the spiders.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think we
not from that.
spontaneously talked about spiders. Okay. Yeah, I talked to Albion a lot more.
I try to keep it on the down low anyway.
That makes a lot of sense.
Spiders is creepy. They're
All right.
freaks.
Well,
However, you would probably gather that being in Fartown and being as close to the Vancian College as you are, that if you needed some input into strange goings on, that wouldn't be the worst place in the world to start looking.
that's totally where I was headed as well. Not my area of expertise at all. I don't think I'm gonna find that spider. So I think I'm gonna get that cup of coffee that I was making. I'll probably put a little bourbon in it because it's Billy. Make sure that I have my trumpet. And then if I haven't explained how he gets from the bomb sticking out of the wall hundreds of feet down to the ground, there's
You
just
haven't.
a plank of wood on like a rope. He stands on it and tugs on a chain, and it just goes. This tie goes straight up. Vizsla stuff. It was like that when I got here, and then just whoop, down to the bottom. Steps off gingerly, and I will head to the Vancian campus.
Okay.
We can leave it there. I will say that when I get there, I'm going to not do what a logical human being would do, but I'm going to be like looking for someone that I recognize or know, and I probably wander back to the stage where I played. I'm not gonna like go into an office and be, super intelligent about this and try to like ask through the correct channels. I'm just gonna like wander around looking for somebody that I think I should talk to.
Fair enough. So it takes, we'll say it takes the better part of an hour, but eventually you see Sterling walking across the campus, the courtyard, from the building where he has his first class to the library, where he studies, and he's on his way to work on. I don't know, what are you on your way to work on? What would you be working on that day?
At that point, I'm probably walking like after the first class. I've got my hands on my temples, And I'm just kind of rubbing them. I'm not thinking about working today because last night I could have sworn I just blacked out and I don't remember what exactly happened, but I know that I didn't sleep at all. So I'm just
Okay.
sort of walking to the library with my head in. I've probably got some book like out, but I don't care about it at the moment.
Don't care about a book. That's blasphemy. So that's what you see, Billy.
Mhm.
He's the one that grabs your eye.
Yep. Yeah. So Billy, whom of course you recognize, but I don't think we talked at all. So I don't think we know each other's names or anything. I sort of walk quickly up to you, Sterling, and I'm like, "Hey, you remember me from yesterday? I've got maybe a question. Do you know anything about spiders? I'm lost.
Spi- Spiders. Well, first, hold on. You're the guy with the trumpet.
Yep,
Yeah?
trumpet right
Yeah?
here.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me.
Great to
I'm Billy,
know.
by the way.
Sterling, pleasure to meet you. Sorry I'm in a state like this. Let's walk to the library. They won't mind. Cause I take it you're not a Vance. I kind of look up and down at you.
I go.
That's usually the answer I get. Yeah, last night was really rough. Long story. Don't remember any of it, but I'm sure it was a long story.
Did I
So
see
I'm just
Sterling
gonna.
at the party at all?
Yes, you did.
Like in passing? You were at the party too last night, right?
Yeah, but it was something after that, I think. Anyway,
Like,
let's head to the library and talk more. And
okay.
I just kind of start walking a little.
You know,
Go ahead.
if it's like a dream thing, maybe I can help you out there. I'm a somnomancer.
I don't know if it's a dream, but I'll keep that in mind.
Hey, thank you for helping me out of nowhere like this. I've got a neighbor who's maybe in some trouble, and there was a spider involved, and she's kind of irritating, but my house is possibly at risk. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. Um, so by the time we get to the library, you see Sterling. He kind of like rushes, opens the door, rushes in, and waves you back to his usual corner. So I try to not tell a lot of people about this, but to come looking for someone and going straight to just someone who did slam poetry with you, it is a bit bold. Uh I don't know anybody else at the college who does, but I think I might know a guy. What's the spider issue?
Uh, Well, like I said, I got this really irritating neighbor, right? Her name's Virginia. She's like a big, annoying vine. She's a bit of a gossip, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I think she's like nearly dead on my house. She's kind of just like
Oh.
laying on it, wilting and maybe disappearing. I'm not really sure. But I did see a spider crawling along her and it disappeared into a crack in the wall. That's all I couldn't really help her. I tried.
Would I know off the top of my head if that's caused by a spider? Or if something like that sounds like what a spider would do?
You would know that it is absolutely something within the capability of certain spiders that you would find in the actuality. As
Okay.
far as what they would or wouldn't do, it doesn't sound familiar, but what you know about spiders is that they don't necessarily think in terms that humans or other sentient beings think in. So attributing reason or whatever that you might use is not necessarily going to be applicable to what they might use.
Okay, so he leans back. It could be a spider issue. Here, I'm gonna check something real quick. Are you allergic?
Me? Allergic? To what?
Cats.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Okay, don't. Okay, just right. And then I kind of look behind into the corner. There's this tiny little, I imagine, like hole Meowity pops out of. I just kind of stick my hand in. Do this.
And Meowly will come up and kind of bump her head into your hand and push it open and expect scratch behind the ear or whatever.
Of course.
Hmm.
Hey, have you heard of any spiders causing trouble around Fartown?
What you will find is that this particular Ron cat does in fact speak. Spiders? There are lots of spiders here in Fartown.
Causing trouble?
Trouble. Always trouble in Fartown. Not spiders. Not usually. They're kept, you see. Spiders are orderly.
All right, that definitely narrows things down. Thank you. I'll look up to Billy. So sounds pretty conclusive. I can definitely what exactly did you want help with? Did you just want like a conversation about it, clear your head, or
Well, look, I mean, I don't like the lady, but that doesn't mean I wanted to die. And I'm a little bit worried that whatever's happening to her is going to infect my house or my neighbors.
all right? Tell you what, I don't. When would my next class be? Probably not for a while.
Yeah, you've probably got them spaced apart fairly well, at least a couple of hours.
Okay.
So I mean, you could go to Billy's
Okay.
bombshell and back easily in the time that.
Tell you what, meet me at the front of the campus. I'm just gonna prepare some stuff real quick, and you see him drop a book out. Give me a moment to
You,
prepare some stuff.
you got it, pal. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. I'll see you
Yeah,
there.
just meet me at the front of the thing. And he starts just flipping through a book.
As he's preparing that, and as you head back to the front of the campus, Claire,
I'm in trouble.
you wake up and the group of ghosts that is working on the next play is up and running their lines already. You can hear them. Something about this short general from France or something. Big hat, big attitude. The guy playing him screaming his lines like just really sounding upset. It's very, very powerful acting, we'll call it. Um,
So when
and
did we start doing cooking shows?
and as you're listening, he's going on about some battle, and he yelps. He's, yep. And everybody stops.
I will get out of bed and dress and go to the top of the stairs to look down on the stage to see what is happening.
They're all standing around staring at what appear to be ghostly versions of vines everywhere. They're absolutely covering the stage, and you're surmising that he was strutting around and he was doing his his posturing and his gesturing and accentuating what he was saying, and then all of a sudden he almost tripped because all these vines are everywhere.
Do I recognize the vines?
Do you know many vines?
I meant like what kind of vine they would have been when they were alive. I know lots of vines. They used to be around before TikTok.
Oh, good grief. That was good. I'll give you that one. That was good. All right. So do you recognize the vines? They're the kind of vines that you would typically see running over like trellises and things like that people used for decoration. But these are thicker. You're guessing that these probably actually came from the green at some point.
All right. That's kind of messed up. Claire will descend the stairs and then start using, I don't know. I don't know that I actually have a spell. I summon demons. That's what I do. Oh, I can speak with spirits. I'm going to try to touch the vines and talk to them and see if I can coax them to like move to the side and climb up the walls to where they're not under everybody's feet and getting stepped on.
Okay. So you reach out and you touch the vines and you begin talking to them and trying to coax them to move. And one of them turns to you at the very tip of it, and sort of its leaves form into almost what looks like a face. But we're not supposed to be here.
None of you are, Derry, but that's all right. You're safe here.
Where is this? This
This
doesn't look like the Pale.
this is the Great Opera House. And don't mention the Pale. I've got a weirdo neighbor that might try to send you there, and you don't want to go there. They do bad things to vines there. You don't want to know. Come on over here. Let's get you on the wall. Do you remember what your life was like?
I worked for this wonderful lady. Her name was the Crow. And I grew, and it sort of trails off, like it's struggling to remember, like the memories fading as he's talking or as it's talking. um i i i, I remember listening. I remember telling. That's all.
All right. Well, why don't you rest and climb up these walls, and you can listen and tell all you want to hear. The rest of your companions won't mind.
And very slowly, all these vines kind of slither out of the way. It's really creepy. It's almost like snakes. You know what I mean? Tons and tons, Indiana Jones levels of snakes. And they climb up the walls and up across the archway that's above the main stage. And they sort of meet in the middle, and they're just hanging there. And if you didn't know they were just living and just um, crawling, you would have thought that looking at this stage, someone tried really hard to make it beautiful and natural because it actually looks kind of nice now, rather than the old wood structure. So
All right, now, GM question. Would Claire have known about Billy's neighbor, Virginia, considering how often she runs into Billy?
I'm going to leave that up to you and Billy. If that's something you think, Billy, that you would have told Claire, then I'll allow it. I have no problem with that.
Would you?
I think it's pretty likely. I mean, Billy complains about this lady a lot. It's like every morning.
Okay, so Claire will probably sit there and just kind of stroke her chin and adjust her hair, and then I guess I'm actually going to deliberately go see Billy now and set off for Billy's house.
Okay. Albion, you wake up and the radio on your plane
Mhm.
is crackling. You know that static crackle,
Mhm.
like it's trying to function but can't. You hear it trying to function.
Mm. I guess I'd walk up to it to see what was going on. I don't generally keep that on. Mm. So, uh, pick up the mic and say, "Well, hello. Is somebody out there trying to get a hold of me?"
You, as you're talking, or as you finish talking, it crackles some more, and you hear um, a couple of words: dead, all dead, no more news. They're coming.
I'd turn off the radio at that point. Put my
The radio
my
was off.
oh
Yeah.
well.
Just you reach for the knob and no, it's off.
Hmm. Well, I suppose quite a few people are dead, and it sounds like they're coming. Do, do you think, Rainey, they're coming for dinner? Should I should I put on the kettle? I think Rainey is probably a bit more concerned about what's happening, um, and conveys that. And uh, Albion uh, picks up the mic again and says, "Now, family, can you tell me when you anticipate being here? Because I do have a busy schedule, and it'd be helpful for me to know when you plan to arrive.
The um, the radio is silent for a good 10 seconds. And then there's a almost like a hiss and um, a drawn out spiders.
Okay. That. Do you have maybe more words you could use to describe this spider situation and specifically to my question when I can anticipate their arrival? Over.
There's no answer.
Rainy, this radio I think is gonna have to get replaced with something a bit more useful. I did see there is a coffee maker at a wonderful shop. Beautiful brass, gorgeous thing. Perhaps perhaps I could make room. I don't know. Well, I suppose I should get started on my day since I was rudely interrupted. Uh, and I walk away and get ready for the day. And I think today he's planning to actually try to work. He's gonna try to like mess around in his lab, uh, and do some alchemy.
Okay. As you find yourself working, you what alchemical response are you trying to duplicate or
Right
create?
now, I think right now he's mostly just researching. He is interested in creating uh, an alchemical potion that he can use to uh, heal specifically. Um, he's looking to create some sort of elixir or tonic that will revivify the body and spirit. And so he's just, I think, probably digging through some of the books that he recently brought home from a library and is just spending most of his time looking at that and checking to see what ingredients he has available and what ingredients he's going to need to get out there and purchase because he's pretty low on stock at the moment.
So, one of the things that you find in the books that
Mhm.
you've acquired recently is a treatise on um, the the life granting properties of the vegetation of the green.
Okay.
Um, as you're aware, as a Visley, the green is about growth. It's about renewal, and um, the stories that you've heard, having never been there, but the stories that you've heard from people that have gone there, it's constantly growing and shifting, and the life that's there is very wild and very untamed, um, and grows and changes against all odds. Like you try and cut it back, and it grows in six new directions around whatever obstacle you put it put in its way. It doesn't give up. It doesn't get deterred the way some of what you saw, like in Shadow, would have grown. You can take and train plants here to do kind of what you want them to do. Think, tomatoes on a vine or something like that, right? That sort of thing doesn't work in the green. And so the raw material that's there is significantly more potent than what you'd find elsewhere.
Okay.
So
Yeah, he's very interested in that kind of information, and thinking about how to either find ingredients that are directly from the green, or finding a way to get to the green so that he can try to harvest some of the necessary ingredients.
well, it just so happens that there's a little shop that collects plants from the green um, over in Fartown, run by a lady known as the Crow.
Um, then I'm sure if the Crow operates a place that sells uh, herbalist kind of ingredients, he would definitely know them and want to go there, looking for just such an item. So he probably spends an hour and a half reading. Once he kind of comes to that conclusion, he's going to close the book and grab his hat and put on his tweed jacket and turn to Rainey and say, "My friend, I think maybe it's time for us to get out and about, take in some air, and see the sights in Fartown. What do you say?" Um,
He kind of
and
yips at you and scampers up on your shoulder and drapes his
um,
tail around your neck
and
in
so
something of
yeah,
a hug.
we head out and wander over to Fartown, wander to the gate to Fartown, which is that in the Hollows?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd probably take a train over to the Hollows uh, and then go through the gate to get to Fartown.
You arrive in Fartown, and the bustle and the people there are every bit as much as you remember them. Fartown, for all um, its variety, never seems to change in that variety. In other words, um, every time you go, it's always a new experience, despite the fact that some things don't um, seem to change. The locations of some buildings, the demeanor of some people, something always changes every visit that you make to Fartown. Um, and so as you make your way towards where this shop is, you recall a conversation with a trumpet player that you had recently about where he lived and that there was, unexploded ordnance that had crashed through a wall. And as you're walking towards where this shop is, or where the directions to the shop led you, you
Mhm.
see about 200 feet in the air a massive bit of unexploded ordnance poking through a wall.
Imagine he marks that and thinks, "Oh, that must be where that fella Billy lives. That perhaps we'll have to pay him a visit at some point." And continues on to the crow's shop. What is the crow's shop called?
I don't know that we never ever actually named the Arboretum. Billy, what do we want to call that? Where Virginia's from.
Haha, I didn't realize you said my name or my character's name. Boy. Man, I'm open to suggestions. I just thought of her as the annoying neighbor. I wonder if I have any notes.
All right, everybody chime in. What do we want to call the Arboretum where Virginia's from?
Oh.
Kiss. Crow's place.
Crow's nest.
I was gonna say the crow's nest.
Okay. Your buddy wants to call it the Rookery.
Actually, I kind of like.
That's
Let's
pretty
go
good.
with that one. I like that one.
Okay, crowdsourcing.
Hi, Zach.
Thank you, Zach.
Appreciate that. You make your way to the Rookery, and it's actually right underneath that piece of exploded ordnance. And as you walk up, you see that trumpet player and another individual that you've seen or that you saw at the party that you were at last night, but did not actually get the chance to talk to, as I recall. Oh wait, no, yeah, you did.
I think we talked.
Yeah, we already know each other.
You
Yeah, we
talked
do.
with
Yeah,
Sterling.
he would
so-
recognize me. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you see
we're
Sterling
old
and Bill.
friends. So, I turned to Rainey, who at this point is to me looks like a like 6'2" dapper gentleman who has sort of humanoid fox wearing a gray suit is walking alongside me, and I say, "Well, Rainey, look at there. There's Sterling. Seen him several times in the last few days. They say coincidence is no coincidence at all here in the actuality. I think that sounds silly, but let's go see what he's up to." And we walk
All
on
right.
over.
As we're starting the scene, I'm going to pull a card. So the card is the Questing Knight. The card is the Questing Knight. It's the apprentice of the Visions family. Visions, swans, blades, and water means justice, journey, determination, and achieving goals. The Questing Knight is a stalwart and focused individual seeking justice, but over the long term. The quest is long and hard. Success, however, comes to the persistent and determined. This card suggests determination is needed for success, but it indicates that such success is within one's grasp, particularly if such a turn of events is just and right. It can also mean that success, still likely, comes only at the end of a long journey.
As I recall, the apprentice means that any empaths in the party are going to be at a disadvantage of 1.
Correct. -1 to all actions if heart is linked to your family.
Terrific. I believe that's
Ooh.
every single person in this trio
Or
at the
darn
moment.
close.
No. Oh yeah. Good
Yeah,
point.
it's all,
Yeah,
all
y'all
3
are
of us.
all. I think 3 out of 4 of you are empaths.
Yes,
Mhm.
the three of you are
Yeah.
empaths. I'm a gallant. 'Cause
So,
I got my character
uh,
up now.
yeah, I
You're gonna have a good
approach
time.
and I say, "Well, well, hello. It's nice to see both of you. Didn't realize that you two were pals."
Oh, hey, Albie. We're actually not yet, at least. Uh, Billy here wanted favor, so it seemed like something up my alley to be doing as well.
Yeah. Hey, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I've got a little bit of a problem with an irritating vine that's dying and some spiders or something. I just went to the campus and found a friendly face.
Spiders. Well, that really is a coincidence. I was awakened this morning by a strange broadcast that my house's radio was picking up. Claimed that spiders are coming. I tried to ask about what time to expect them, but unfortunately my radio didn't give me much to work with. So, uh,
I
but
hate to say, Albie, I don't think they're coming for dinner.
that is a disappointment. I've always thought spiders seemed like fascinating guests for a party. But uh, I feel like perhaps we've all been drawn into this entanglement. Don't see that very often. How exciting.
And as you say that, you turn Billy and see Claire walking up the street.
Billy!
Hey, Claire.
Billy! Just the man I needed to find.
That makes sense. Claire, have you met Sterling, Albion? You guys know each other? Or is
I
it just me?
believe I met Albion last night. We had a wonderful discussion about the opera house.
Indeed, we did. It's such a pleasure to see you again. Such short notice. Well, look at our little group. Perhaps we should all go get a drink. It's
Wait,
about 1
just a second.
p.m. I think. Oh,
I've got some bourbon in my house, but Claire, just to catch you up really quick, my irritating neighbor, I think she's maybe dying or something, and there's spiders everywhere, and it's all very fateful kind of day today. But
You
yeah, you
don't
wanna
say.
help us take a look at it? I guess Sterling knows something about spiders, and I don't want it to infect my house, and she sucks, but I don't want it dead.
your neighbor can't
Well,
possibly be that bad.
speaking
Every
of
morning,
death,
without fail.
Claire is going to reach out and place her hand on Billy's shoulder. Speaking of death, I regret to inform you that I have had a strange visitation. The entirety of my stage was covered with vines this morning. They said they worked
That kind of
for
day.
the crow.
Oh, like the crow from the rookery?
I have no idea. I got as much as I could. They worked for the crow. They listened and they spoke, and then they died. And they don't know how they died. But these vines are not, little vines. They're vines, and they look like
And like,
giant pythons.
Just exactly.
eh,
Well, we are right outside of the crow's herbalist shop. If you'd like, we could all go in. That's where I was headed myself at the moment.
The shop actually appears closed at the moment.
Hmm.
Claire is going to walk up to the shop and rap firmly on the door. Open the door!
Okay. You knock loudly, and there is no answer.
I'm going to try the doorknob.
Locked. I mean, you can try and pick it, but
Idea.
okay.
Are there any like open surfaces like on the door or the window? Or if there is a window?
There is a window. It's solid. There's probably a crack under the door, like a gap for
Okay.
swinging.
Yeah,
But
the usual gap, okay.
yeah,
I'm gonna sort of just hold out my hand, like kind of by the bottom of the door, like I'm trying to catch something. I'm gonna use the Lassen's Eager Grasp and see if a key of some type flies into my hand. It has to be unattached, unattended, and inanimate. I'd imagine a key to this door could be all three, or a spare,
okay.
within short range.
Within short range.
That's,
All
I
right.
think, about 30-ish feet.
Yeah, that's about right. So you cast that spell. Go ahead and spend the sorcery to do that.
I am advanced,
That's true. That's a
so
bad spell. Never mind. Okay.
I'll spend the sorcery to keep it, though.
Okay. Okay. So you retain that in mind, and you cast that spell, and a couple of seconds go by, and a hunk of metal thuds into your hand.
I'll get back up and hand it to Claire.
neat trick.
Try that.
Thank you. Sterling, was it? Much appreciated. And Claire will
Yes,
use it to
Sterling.
unlock the door.
It
And
unlocks.
pushed open the door.
Are you from the Opera House?
Correct.
I saw the play of King 12 last week. Pretty good. You should do one of the events at the college sometime. We have one every day. I'm sure the headmaster will find a spot for you.
Perhaps. I have a quartet that currently enjoys hanging around with Billy.
Were there yesterday?
I open the door. What do I see?
The air in here is thick with moisture. Very humid, very, very heavy with life. You know that smell that you get when you walk into a forest after a heavy rain. Um, it very, very full of that smell. Looking around, you see several raised planters along the wall with various. They appear to be fresh herbs, potentially some food ingredients, some potion ingredients that you might use for ephemera, or some other alchemical um, uh, concoction that you can dream up. And then along a another wall, There are several bookshelves, most of which appear to be just treatises on like the green or on growing things or how to keep your uh, care and keeping of gossip plants, things like that, right? Um, 3 or 4 of those bookshelves that are just full. And if you go over and I'm assuming at one point someone goes over to look at them, what you'll notice is that there's a space about 2 feet away from the bookshelf, maybe 3 feet, where as you cross that threshold, the moisture in the air goes away. And it's like someone put a bubble around these bookshelves to keep the books dry. But the shop's dark and there's nobody there.
Do I see dead vines?
You do not. In fact, you don't see any vines in the room at all.
Okay, that's peculiar. Um,
I'm gonna look to Rainy
so
and ask him to go search the rest of the building to see if the crow is here and if she's okay. That would be the another point of view forte ability. It is a level 1 ability, so I will spend the sorcery,
Okay.
and you can go anywhere within a long distance as long as there are no barriers, like uh, locked doors, things like that, in his way, and come back and tell me what he sees.
Okay. There are doors, but they are not locked. And as he goes throughout the building, what he finds is that that the crow is not there. However, there is in a remote corner of the building a stairway down, and there appear to be vines down there, lots of them. The other thing that Reynard says about down there is that not only are there a lot of vines, the area is filled with spider webs.
Very
And
well.
that's where we'll take our break for this session. We will be back in 10 minutes and we'll find out what perhaps is going on in the rookery and what's with all these spiders and vines and things. So hang out for just a little bit, guys. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back shortly. And we're back. Friends, family, fellow travelers, to the actuality. We are in the Rookery, a plant and herb and growing thing shop expertise uh, locale run by a woman known as the Crow. And our Visley have broken in using the key, which almost sounds anticlimactic, except we got to use some fancy magic to get there. So, hey, it works. And one of our Visley has used his friend, a fox, to scout the area, and it's come back with some interesting news. There's a bunch of dead vines and spider webs. So, yeah, that's where we've left it. What are we doing?
Well, Albion hasn't made us aware of this yet, so I'm still snooping. You're muted.
Jeff.
Sorry about that. Albion, as soon as he learns this, will say, "Well, my friends, it seems as though uh, this whole mystery of vines and spiders has come to a head down in the cellar. There seem to be many vines growing up out of the cellar, as well as uh, a host of spiders and spider webs down there. So perhaps we should investigate there. I do feel uncomfortable just walking into the crow's space here, but uh, given the circumstances, I think it's a bit forgivable to investigate, lest she be a victim of whatever's befallen this place.
Did you see spiders or just the webs?
He described webs, so presumably spiders are nearby, but perhaps they're not here anymore. I don't know.
He would say that he didn't go very far down into the stairwell of the cellar, just because the webs got so thick.
While that is happening, while Albion is talking, Billy just near the end of that brief interaction just starts, without looking at anyone, starts walking towards the cellar and kind of muttering, another burrow. It's always another burrow. Why does it always have to be a burrow? Down, down, down. And goes over to it. And I'm going to just like examine it. I'm looking for the sort of like non codified sort of illogical sort of magic that I'm good at recognizing, and seeing if I can get any insight by examining it. And Billy has to try not to think about, like, try to convince himself that he's not dreaming right now. So he's kind of got blinders on, but he's doing that investigation.
So you walk through a door in the back of the main room, and into another large room that appears to be almost like a stock room. But back in the corner of that room, there is um, a kind of a rickety wooden stair that leads down through the stone, to what you presume would be that cellar. Um, you go down about 3 or 4 steps, and maybe that many more ahead of you, you start seeing massive amounts of spider webs. And by that time, the stone floor will become the roof of that cellar. Okay, and there are vines that are that appear to have grown out of pots on the floor. Now you can see a couple right near the edge of the webs, and have grown up to the ceiling, but they don't look like they go anywhere. They just it stops at the ceiling, and you can't quite tell what's going on there. But there's webs everywhere, and all the vines that you see, or all the portions of the vines that you see, are that same deep purple that you saw um, with Virginia.
And then, do I notice that like a peculiar kind of evidence of a peculiar kind of magic at work here? I'm trained in exactly that, like understanding, out of the ordinary magical effects and things.
The
So I can roll if you want me to.
No, I'll give you this one. The magic that you see that is somewhat out of the ordinary has nothing to do with the spider webs or like the pots per se. It has to do with the ceiling of the cellar. Um, it looks as if all of the vines that you can see grew straight up and into the ceiling and then disappear.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Billy is still muttering to himself. Behind every cloud is another cloud. Behind every cloud is another cloud. Hey guys, am I awake?
Yes,
Are you up
Billy.
there, Claire? Okay.
I hope so.
Joanne, go
What?
ahead and pull another card.
Why don't you come back up here to us? I have an idea.
Yeah, I don't like the ceiling. The ceiling's fucked, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I back out.
Sterling's kind of looking down at the floor the whole time, like.
The card we have is the mysterious. Sorry. The card we have is the mysterious rune. Secrets, ravens, books, and flame. It means magic, mystery, and wordless communication. Words are spells, and spells are words. Runes encode words. They hide them in plain sight. Store them. If you can decipher the rune, you gain its meaning and thus its power. Those who scribe a rune, or even those who hold the book or other object the rune marks, are its masters. The Secrets family holds the mystery of a rune along with all its hidden meanings. It is not an unknowable truth, but a secret that can be learned, though it's likely a difficult and dangerous one. Generally, this is considered a card of good fortune by Visley and bad fortune by Nons. There's mystery afoot, and there's something important that can be discovered if the person in question looks for it. Specifically, looking for something in a book is a good idea after this card is turned.
Well, I suppose uh, Albion would probably go to the bookshelf at this point anyway, just to see if there are any books about um, growing vines and things like that. I mean, this is more or less why he came here in the first place, was to look for information about herbalism and find ingredients. So yeah, he'll start perusing that uh, that resource for the moment.
Okay, so you start looking through the bookshelf. Claire, you said you had an idea.
Yes, I have an idea.
What do you got?
Claire is going to reach into her pocket and pull out a journal and a quill and sit down on the floor, open the journal, and turn to a fresh page. Take the quill in her left hand and set it on the ink. I would like to know if the crow is still alive and where I might find her. And after I say that, I am going to cast automatic writing. Automatic writing, if I have something to write with and write upon, I open my body and mind to a random spirit of the dead who can compel me to write something, although I can ask questions before I cast a spell, hoping to get an answer from the spirit through the writing. I have no control over what I write or don't write. And it ends automatically when the spirit is done communicating. It's a level 2 spell.
Okay. You are sitting on the floor with the journal in your hand and the quill in your left hand, and you cast this spell. And immediately your eyes go blank, white, and you begin to write. The crow flies away. The crow flies fast. It is running. It flees, but it will not escape. They are everywhere. And then it stops. And the color of your eyes comes back. And you look down, and the handwriting isn't your own. It's very, very shaky, like someone that hasn't held a pen in a while and is writing. So.
Okay. So they won't get caught up in collateral damage. Nice to know. I will share this information with the group.
Okay. She shares her journal with you. Albion, as you are reading the titles in the bookshelf, or bookshelves rather, I should say, there is a book that stands out to you, and ironically, it is The Care and Keeping of Gossip Vines. And it's written by what probably shouldn't be surprising, but may be to you. I'm not sure. A T. Crow.
Okay. I'm gonna crack it open and try to look through to see if there's anything, if there are any references to spiders in this book.
Okay. You spend the next, we'll call it 10, 15 minutes just perusing the book, flipping through the pages, looking for instances of spiders. You don't see any. What you do notice is an interesting passage about creeping vines and the green. And by creeping vines, I'm referring to any vines that grow along surfaces, right? And so the thing here is that whoever wrote the book, T. Crow, mentions that in growing gossip vines, one of the big things to keeping them healthy is make sure that they have lots of unclustered space to grow in. So, putting them in a cluster, putting them with other plants, putting them around a tree or something like that is not actually conducive to um, these particular things. They need other non-living um, things in their space rather than living ones. They don't do it's almost like competition, right? They don't do very well with other living plants in their space.
Okay. Um, Now, does it say specifically that they don't work well with other plants, or does it indicate that pests and um, other kinds of living creatures that might be in and around might also impact the growth of these vines?
Um, it doesn't go into specifics about living pests or anything like that. What it does say is that there is a very specific type of um, soil diet, the right amount of nitrates and things like that in the soil that this particular type of plant needs, and that formula was that they put it, it's listed in there, right? And they got that by actually going to the green and collecting a soil sample where these things live.
Okay, I will convey all of that information to everyone else, and I'm feeling a bit stumped, but maybe one of you guys will have a thought.
Well, Claire will go over to look downstairs and see if I see any movement.
Take a look at that ceiling, Claire. Something wrong with the ceiling.
It's pretty dark down there.
Okay, flashlight.
Okay, you pull out a flashlight and you shine it down there. The webbing continues to go back into the room, but every so often you see what you think is a spider or two scurrying around.
Alrighty then. I will say yeah, we've got live movement.
Did you want to look at the ceiling like he was suggesting, or not?
I'm gonna be when I call it back. I'm gonna look up and go, okay, Billy, what am I looking at here? It's a stone ceiling.
No, it's not. What should be okay? So you've got the storeroom, and the storeroom is a stone floor, and you head down the stairs towards where this cellar is, or whatever it is, and you look up at what should be the bottom of those stones, and instead of seeing stone, you see black.
That's not okay.
The vines that are down there that you can see in the pots, there's one vine per pot, and there's just a ton of pots. Okay, the vines are growing straight up towards the ceiling.
Do the vines look familiar?
Oh yeah, they're all yay big around, and they're all purple, but they were going straight up to the ceiling. but instead of like, going up and then crawling along the ceiling or doing whatever it is, vines normally do, they go up to the ceiling and it stops in the blackness.
All right. Considering that this is a storeroom, considering we're dealing with dirt and plants and whatnot, there should be a broom near me.
Yeah, sure, there's a broom in the storeroom.
I'm gonna poke the ceiling with the broom.
Okay.
Does the
You
broom
get a
vanish?
broom. You poke the ceiling, and the head of the broom that you poke the ceiling with just sort of keeps going. It vanishes.
Oh, that's not okay. Are the spiders that I saw paying any attention to me?
Not that you can see.
Okay, I'm gonna reach up and put my hand on the roof. Just kind of tap my fingers to see if I feel anything weird. Like, is the dark cold? Is it warm? Is it wet?
Okay. You tap your fingers where the roof should be, and you don't feel a thing. And as your fingers pass kind of where that line is, it's cool. It's not cold. I wouldn't call it like freezing or anything like that, but it's there's definitely a chill temperature adjustment from where you are to where your fingers end up is kind of how I'd have to say it. Does that make sense?
All right, I am going to go back to the group, relay this information, including the fact that there are spiders, and then I am going to pull out my, I guess, chalk. Yeah, because it doesn't say what I use, so I am going to sit down. I am going to take, and I'm going to very carefully draw out a decent sized protective circle with my chalk.
Okay.
And then I am going to hang on. I am going to Robin Williams it and summon. I don't remember the phrase he used, and I was going to go look it up, but I figured I'll just skip that part for now. Call forth and hit the calling tree and see if there is a demon or an otherworldly or an angelic being that has nothing better to do and wants to come visit because I have a job.
Okay. What sort of being are you trying to get? Not type, but what job are you getting them to do?
I am going to see if I can find a creature of aid, AID,
Okay. And do what with it?
to see if it will help me investigate the spider menace.
Okay, so we're looking for something that's investigative in nature.
Yes.
Okay. Um let's see here. Summoning type.
Aid is one of my summoning types.
And what's the sorcery cost for that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's fine, Kelton.
Uh, I'm going to assume 3 because that's the level of being I can summon.
Okay.
And I can get a council, guard, aid, or spy. So maybe a spy.
All right. Um let's go ahead and get a name for this. This is going to be an angel.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Wait, are we talking like angel as in the cute beings with the wings and the really pretty, or the demonic Bible angels of the thousands of eyes and the tentacles and the sort of wings and the really creep factor?
Which do you think?
So thousands of eyes.
Yep.
Creepy. All right.
So yeah, let's go ahead and pull another sleuth card here.
While you're summoning, just kind of overhear, like you see Sterling, like just kind of pacing. And he's like, "I'm not going down there. Not going down there. Don't want to deal with this." But he's still walking toward the storeroom, just like, "Nope, nope, no way. Don't want to do this."
Don't do it, Sterling. Don't do it. I don't like anything about down there.
I don't either. It's not good, and I'm like at the top of the stairs by now. Like, nope.
Starting to wonder if I brought it back with me from the deeps of sleep. I do that
I don't
sometimes.
think you could dream. I don't think you could dream these up.
So, the card is elusive sleep. How ironic. By the way, Monty, thank you. You're the man. So, visions, swans, blades, and water, meanings, futility, worry, stress, and awareness. The richest noble cannot buy sleep. The strongest among us cannot compel its submission. Even the wisest person might lose a night's rest to anxiety. Still, when we're awake, we're aware, and that awareness can be crucial. Elusive sleep indicates one is racked with worry or should be. It might indicate that the stress that one feels is a real detriment, and whatever is being attempted is utterly futile. Lastly, this card turn might suggest that the key to success lies in vigilance. So, this one elevates blue magic, and we are on the blue sun, if I'm not mistaken. So that is going to be +2 to any blue effect and -1 to red. All right. As you call this creature that you're not specifying, you see what looks to be a massive cloud of smoke. And the smoke, it doesn't really form a shape other than perhaps a vortex almost. But the circular motion is very lazy. Um, Imagine for a second the motion. It's called Brownian motion, but the motion of like dirt in water as you stir it up. And you see it floating and twirling. That's the kind of movement that you see this smoke making. And it It comes close to your circle and then looks down at you and addresses you and says, I am Labiel. You summoned me. Why?
We have spiders. And Claire's just going to have this look on her face like, fuck me. And just kind of, we have spiders in the basement, and I was hoping for some help investigating as to why they're here. Because, spiders are not exactly man's best friend.
That is not true. Some of my best friends are spiders.
Yeah, but you're not exactly human.
I knew a spider a while back too, but whatever. Keep talking, you two. Enjoy. I'm just still standing at the top of the steps.
Talking about spiders. What's with the ceiling?
It turns and looks at you for a second and then turns back to Claire. You summoned me for a task to investigate. What is it that you offer?
Well, she's going to pull her robe around and start digging in her pockets. I have man's greatest invention, peanut butter chocolate chip cookies.
It looks at you and you see the smoke swirling around. What need have I of these cookies?
Well, other than the fact that they're really tasty, and she's going to take one, I can also pay you in crystal orbs.
He looks at you some more and I see. Very well. I will investigate your problem for 35 crystal orbs.
25 crystal orbs?
Go ahead and make a roll. We're going to roll to persuade him that your offer is worth a darn.
All right, I am going to spend a penny of my interaction. And then I'm going to roll a die.
Okay.
I hope it rolls high because these are very light die. I got a 9.
Perfect. So it reaches out with a tendril of smoke and kind of waves it at you vaguely. more towards your pouch where you keep your orbs than anything else. And it gets a little bit lighter. Very well.
And have a cookie. And she's going to hand him the cookie.
The cookie sort of floats in the air for a second, and then it vanishes. Interesting. And the smoke thing turns and heads towards the basement.
She will let him go.
What is everybody else doing while this is happening?
It's not worth it. I don't need to go down. I'm walking down the steps. I don't know. I'm probably at like the 4th step by this point.
Okay.
And there's gonna be an angel behind me. I'm not getting out of this now, am I?
Yes. I think Sterling will glance back as if to turn around, and there's
I'm
you know,
like,
Ah! I like it. So the smoke angel thing sort of
Be
floats
not
past
afraid.
you. Yeah, be not afraid. Sort of floats past you and moves through the spider webs that you see there and further into the cellar. And it's gone for about 45 seconds when you hear an almost booming voice in the same tone that it used before. What are you doing here? And the response is not in a language that you can understand. It's more chittering. Like clicks and maybe even some hisses, but nothing, nothing like verbal or anything like that. I see. You look. What are you looking?
Just down. I was just going to say, Billy's just hanging out, looking down. He's very concerned about what's happening down there, but he doesn't want to go down there. I just wondering what we see looking down the stairwell. You're muted, I think.
It is every bit as dark as it was. You don't see much beyond, the first couple of potted plants at the base of the stairs, and the wall of spider webs. You just hear this voice and the chittering.
Is there a light switch?
There appears to be one.
I am going to use the broom handle to flick it up.
You flick the light switch and nothing happens. It's almost like something has messed with the light.
I would like to try something.
Okay.
Billy's going to pull out his trumpet and play something brief and simple. And I'm going to weave together sight from freedom and dreams from sleep to pull light from a dream into the hallway. I'm just doing it at level 1, like create a visual illusion sort of level of effect. So I'll spend 1 sorcery, and that's my plan.
and kind of drop it into the cellar. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull. He's pulling light from dreams into the cellar to illuminate it.
Okay. You drop what's essentially a ball of light into the cellar, into the middle of the cellar, and as you're staring down there, you and Sterling both. I don't know, Albion. You're not looking down there at the moment, are you?
Leon is still upstairs, kind of reading through the book.
Okay. And Claire, are you still in your protective circle?
No, I'm beside Billy.
Okay, so the three of you are looking in there. Billy does this light-ish spell, and you see the smoke angel that's it's floating in midair, and there's spider webs going through it. They're everywhere. This entire cellar is riddled with spider webs. There are tiny spiders crawling all over the place. However, you do notice two other things. The first is that the spiders that are crawling everywhere will occasionally join a line of spiders that are heading out through what looks to be a partially broken door on the far side of the cellar. And they're literally lined up like a checkout line or something like that, right? And they're heading out. The second thing that you notice is that those aren't the things that um, the smoke angel is speaking to. The smoke angel is speaking to a massive spider. It is probably 1.5 times your size, Billy.
Lovely. I think Billy is more. Well, okay, he'd probably be mumbling. Why do they have to be a door? There are doors. Burrow, door, burrow, door. It's fine. Just don't go down. Don't go down. He was hoping that it would terminate in a room, and then his anxiety would stop. It's a thing. I'm going to watch this conversation play out for now and possibly interject other than, my mumbling to myself.
Okay. It stops about 1.5 minutes after she sent the smoke angel in. And the angel floats back over to you and turns to you, Claire, and says, the spiders were taking care of one of the servants of the enemy.
Okay. Is that why I have ghostly vines at my place?
Yes.
All right.
Good day. And the
Thank
smoke
you.
The
vanishes.
enemy of what?
The smoke vanishes.
Do I recognize the big spider?
Same question. Or do I know anything about it? Not exactly the same question.
Okay, so as you're looking, a couple things happen. Number one, your effect is starting to wear off. Okay, and as the light fades, that big spider seems to be pulling back into a shadow somewhere. Okay, you do not recognize it, but Sterling would be able to match it with a description. That spider is what you would know as a true spider.
Okay. I was wondering if it happened to be Deb.
No.
Okay. Okay. I'm just there. I'm like, it's not Debu. This kind of has to do with the message you. Is there a color associated with spiders at all?
Um,
If
just
there
a
isn't,
sec
I've
here.
got a color in mind that I'll just go with.
Well, okay, so not to the best of my knowledge, there's not one, at least in the rules associated with the spider, but with normal spiders, I would say the green.
Okay, that's the color I was
With
gonna go with.
true spiders, on the other hand, I would actually associate them with indigo, not the green.
Okay. So I kind of turn around. It's a true spider. Don't worry about him. He's just gonna do his thing. Everything's gonna be okay. And before I turn around, you see my left eye start to glow green. And I kind of crouch down. At the same time, I'm gonna use Noram's Sea of Words. I make it so words spoken near where I stand appears written words in the language they are spoken floating in the air. They're semi-solid, kind of the consistency of a spider.
Okay. And so, what are you going to do with that?
So it also depletes once a round or check each round. So I'm just gonna kind of crouch down and I'm gonna just start talking. Hey, what's going on down here, everyone?
Meanwhile, Billy's like, "Oh yeah, that's really encouraging. It's a true spider, and I thought it was a lie spider. I thought it was fake. Great. What's a true spider?"
So, you ask what's going on down here, everyone. Um, the response you get is protect, and it's coming. It sounds like it's coming from 100 different voices.
Ask him who the enemy is.
We're getting there. Do you guys mind if I just come through the webs real quick? I'll start just putting my hand on one of them.
They don't stop you.
All right, good. So protect. Great to know. Who are we protecting?
You, all of you,
All of us. All of us. Okay, from
the enemy.
the enemy. The the enemy of
The enemy.
refresh me. I've forgotten the enemy.
He is lie. He is false.
I'll turn around and you kind of see my eye glowing a bit more intensely, and like words just kind of spew out of my mouth toward Billy and Claire. They said he is lie. He is false.
You must flee. They come.
They come. They're coming.
Where the hell is
And
coming?
you see, like en masse, instead of just a line, the spiders mob that broken door, trying to get out. Incidentally, as you're moving down into that basement and clearing, spider webs away, the true spider that was there is also gone.
Fire is always
Where's
the
everyone
solution.
going? Where's everyone going? Why are we leaving?
They come.
I'll try to make it through to the door if I can.
Okay. The squick factor in the amount of spider webs that you're trying to push through, and dead vines, and leaves that have fallen off, and stepping around pots, and all that stuff is substantial. But you make it to the door eventually, and it's it's broken, but it's broken because it's old. It's not like someone broke in through the door or whatever, right? It's broken because this
Okay.
door is like 15,000 years old or something, and it's just falling apart. So there's a portion at the bottom where this wooden frame has rotted and crumbled off, and there's about a 6 or 7 inch gap at the corner where it nests into the wall, um, and that's where the spiders were going through.
Like my hands like shaking at the door. Like, do I open it? Is it worth it?
Sure, open the door. Claire will follow along behind Sterling because with Sterling going in front, most of the vines and stuff will be cleared out of her way.
Okay, you follow along behind.
Okay.
Billy's still muttering to himself. Behind every cloud is another cloud. Behind every cloud is another cloud. Albion, you coming? Something's coming. I don't know. We're following the spiders, I guess.
Follow the spiders.
Albion walks to the top of the stairs and looks down, and he says, "No, now what's going on down there? I'm not
The
sure. I'd be
enemy's coming. We gotta go. I guess.
We're going on an adventure.
The whole
no."
like they are coming thing that we hear, and all the spiders are running away, and I guess we're following them because he's been talking to them, and I don't know.
He snaps shut the book that he's been reading and says, "This seems a bit foolhardy."
It'll be
Finds a
fun.
place to set the book down, and
Don't worry. If we die, we can come back as ghosts and hang out at the opera house.
Are there still spiders trying to get through, or have they all gotten through by this point?
By this point, they have all gotten through.
I'm gonna kind of kneel down. Is it safe behind the door?
I don't know what that is.
It appears to be safe
Oh
behind
no,
the
I'm
door.
asking the spiders.
Oh, they're gone.
Okay.
They're already
just
through the door.
no answer. Okay. My eyes
Me.
stops glowing. Okay, they all left. the true spider's gone too. I don't know where it went off to.
Well, let's go through the door and find out.
I'll open the door.
You open the door, and there is a different sort of moisture that hits you. This one smells very much more fetid, like you're walking into a sewer of some sort.
Oh, that's nasty. Claire is going to just
Great.
reach into her pocket and pull out a handkerchief and cover her face. And oh, that's not good. Oh my god, that is nasty.
Perfect.
And
Just what we needed. Just what we needed. And I'll step forward.
and we want to go in there.
Burrow.
Do very
As
well.
as you go in, Sterling, and look around, you do see the last of the spiders kind of straggling behind as they head off in a particular direction.
Where are you guys going?
They're coming. They're coming.
They're still on their way.
Well, tell them to wait up. We don't want to be stuck here when they get here because I don't know who they is, but I don't like the idea. Because something that freaks out a spider is not something I want to play with. And I deal with ick
They're
all the time.
They're all children. They get scared easily. We should probably just go back. I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm still walking forward anyway.
I'm staying with you, sweetheart.
Like, my body and my words are just two different people at this point.
I'm following Sterling for some reason, but I'm assuming we there's obviously no more light down there than there was before. So
Claire still has her flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Claire still has a flashlight, and
I'm not gonna
in
worry about that
fact, what you do find is that there is slightly more light, and the reason for it is the way that Saturnine sewers work. Okay, is there's this tunnel, but up above, you know where the grates are at the curbside. You think it and clown, right? There's a bunch of those that serve as runoffs throughout the street system of Saturnine and of Fartown, and they let in some ambient light. It's not a ton, but it's enough that you're not going to like trip and stumble on a rock or something like that. You'll be able to see major detail. Maybe not fine detail, but major detail.
But I'm gonna tell you straight
Oh.
up, if Clown jumps out at me, I'm gonna punch it in the face.
All right. I will let you
That,
punch the clown.
That's gonna stop Billy's muttering to himself. He's still going, behind every cloud is another cloud, behind every... Oh, the sky. I am awake. Hi. Hey guys, I'm awake.
Yeah.
Good,
Did
good.
you? Let's
What are
keep
we running from
moving.
again?
Apparently, the spiders are afraid of something, and I guess we're
The
very
enemy.
concerned about that. So,
They're afraid
I'm
of the enemy.
whoever this enemy is seems unpleasant. I don't know if they're my enemy, but certainly don't want to find out at the moment.
Seeing the word come out written in front of me again, even though this is probably like the 10th time I've said the enemy, seeing it this last time, does seeing it written jog my memory of learning about an enemy at the college?
You know what?
Just
I'm gonna
anything
I'm
referred
gonna
to
make
as
you
the
roll for
enemy.
that one. Just
Okay.
and this will be as part of your history course that you're taking. And yes, we're going to pull another card. So
Okay.
we were in a new area. We're going to pull another card. What did we pull?
Lost Star.
Okay, Lost Star is promoting gray and diminishing indigo where we are. So indigo is -2 to all interactions. And it is notions, cats, clocks, and wind. It means good or bad luck, great distance, great age, great value. We gaze into the night sky and we see the stars shining back down on us. We wonder what they really are, but that's a secret for another time. Stars represent a higher world where everything is magnified. Everything having to do with the stars is far greater than it would be in our world. Love burns brighter, gems sparkle more beautifully, and children sing more sweetly. At the same time, disasters are more calamitous, anger seethes more deeply, and armies wage wars far longer. The Lost Star offers good or bad fortune determined by the card turned on it after on it on the path. Whatever this card suggests, it is epic in scale. Something important to the person in question is a very long way away, very old, or very valuable. The Lost Star amplifies any other results determined by other cards. Okay, so go ahead and make your knowledge roll,
Would this be
Chris.
intellect or sortilege if I wanted to spend a Bennett?
This is going to be intellect. What you're doing is trying to remember a fact.
Okay. So I'll go ahead. I will put 1 Bennett, so my venture will be 1. And I rolled a 2.
You, as you're thinking about it, you remember that during the war, those that the Vislay fought were referred to as the enemy. But you were partying late that night, and you don't remember if it was one person or many persons, or um, sometimes one person and sometimes many persons. That whole lecture was kind of fuzzy, but it had to do with the war.
The enemy from the war. The war.
I don't
Still, you said
particularly
that out
want
loud.
to deal with that.
That's the only enemy I can think of.
From the war. What do you mean?
That
Like the Germans? What do you mean? Oh, that war that
the
everybody keeps talking about.
the war here.
The real war.
Does everybody
The,
remember that?
I don't think
Or
any of us do.
before that?
I remember things. I don't remember everything by any stretch of the imagination, but yes, I certainly remember things from the war. And I thought we defeated the enemy. How is the enemy coming? We we defeated the enemy.
I
Let's
don't
follow
want to
the
know.
spiders. I don't want to stick around and find out.
Follow the spiders.
You follow the spiders. It goes. They lead you for maybe an eighth of a mile through the sewers, and then they're climbing up and out through one of those grates. There happens to be like a manhole cover right where you're at, so you could go up to if you wanted.
This feels like a guided adventure.
There you go. It's almost like a guiding star or something.
Claire will
Am I the
climb up.
only one you guys have met who knows nothing about this war or whatever happened before the war? Or is it just me? I mean, honestly, it seems like
It's
everybody I
me
talk
too.
to.
You live
I
in
mean,
the
I remember
munitions
before
of
it.
the war.
Right, but you all have memories from before whatever it was.
Yes.
I've
Peg
just
leg.
I
got
do.
playing gigs, being in the hospital a lot. Nothing.
Let's climb this ladder and get out of the sewer before we continue this conversation. I don't particularly like being down here, and the sun above our head would make me feel a little more comfortable thinking about the enemy.
All right. Claire will start climbing the ladder. Push the manhole cover up and peek out to make sure
Same.
she's not coming up under a truck.
You're not. You're actually kind of out of the way, and you see a line of spiders moving towards the wall that is right next to you and climbing it. They are all heading up towards Billy's bomb fragment. The four of you climb out of the sewer, and as you are watching these little spiders climb up this wall, you're startled by a disturbed voice, not quite a shout, but a very insistent, loud voice. And the voice says, "No, tell him I can still be useful. I can still be useful. Please."
I'm going to look to see
Where
where
is
the noise
this?
is coming from.
Yeah, where's it coming from?
You turn around, and down what looks to be a side alley, you see four individuals shepherding a fifth towards the wall of this alley. Right, it's just like the back of a house. The four individuals are all wearing red robes. They have white hair and bright gold skin. One of them has his hand pressed against this wall of what's probably a house or a business or whatever, um, that's right there, and it's glowing. It's glowing a deep purple, and next to where his hand is, the wall seems to stop, and there's just blackness. And as this person finishes saying that, one of them shoves her into the wall where that hole is, and she disappears. And they all follow her.
Claire will go after them.
Yeah, Albion is going to grab Claire by the shoulder and say, we can't attack the Thaw. This is too dangerous. We need to get away from here. Let's follow the spiders.
We don't recognize who they pushed through
You
the
do.
non-wall.
And actually,
Okay.
if Albion has been to this store before, he does too. That was the crow.
Yeah, that was the crow, guys. She's obviously in trouble. I don't know if we want to. I don't like institutions, and I don't think that's a good idea, Claire.
There,
Okay.
there are Visley that could handle the thaw for a while anyway, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure any of us are particularly well equipped. Uh, Maybe we ought to go up and follow the spiders and see if they have any more information. They're trying to get to safety and they seem to be headed toward your house. That can't be a coincidence.
No, nothing today is a coincidence. I'd feel better up there anyway.
Okay,
I wonder
so
if
what are we doing?
I wonder if the
I'm gonna show
spiders are
them the
running
quick
away
way
from
up.
them.
You're going to show them the quick way up. What did you say, Claire?
I was saying, I wonder if the spiders are running from them.
Don't know.
The Thaw aren't the enemy, though.
Well, considering they just took a person without due process, are you sure they're not? I mean, usually there's an arrest and they're, handcuffed and then taken down the middle of the street to a jail cell, not shoved through a secret portal of blackness going somewhere.
Now, Claire, I believe perhaps you've spent a bit more time in your opera house than you have out in the rest of the world. But due process is something I haven't heard about since Shadow. There doesn't seem to be any kind of due process here in the
Not since you
actuality.
come back, especially.
Well,
The
maybe we need
Thaw,
to fix that.
the Thaw are not a force that answers to anyone that I've ever heard of. And
So
I'm
we
not
don't
saying
know
they're
if they're
right, but they're not something that I can stand against myself.
The tracks for me. I can't say I ever saw what I would actually call due process in Shadow. Why would it exist here?
because we're supposed to be better. I mean, that's what I'm constantly told. As Visley, we're supposed to be better than in Shadow.
That's
All
a
right,
foolish idea,
Billy.
but people are people everywhere you go. And
Well, I ain't been locked up yet.
they're great and they're terrible at the same time. Let's get up to that house of yours, cause I'm feeling a little exposed having watched the Thaw carry away Ms. Crow.
Now I'm concerned that they might come for you too.
I'm always concerned that somebody's coming for me. Somebody usually does.
What did
I
your
just don't want to get
angel
locked up
do?
again.
But what did your angel tell you? He didn't have the hear what the spider responded with.
That they're protecting us from the enemy.
Okay.
We don't know what the enemy is, but they're protecting us from it.
Okay. Maybe they found the enemy there.
The four of you head back up using the quick way. And when you get to the top, you see that same line of spiders crawling back through one of the cracks that was formed by the ordinance that Billy lives in to the other side of the wall. And he leaves you. I'm assuming you're taking them into your house. Was that the plan?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. He takes you into the house and probably shows you the back flap. Virginia is dead.
Hmm.
But you can see the spiders coming out along and then crawling down and away, and they just sort of go off into the distance. You don't know where they go.
I do point out, yeah, that was the neighbor I was talking about. I think that ship has sailed.
Everybody make a perception check.
I got
That's
a 7.
5.
You got a 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
9.
And what did you get, Jeff? Sorry.
Got an 8.
Okay. All of you, as you look back along Virginia, the body of her vine, you notice that where it contacts the wall, it's not growing through a crack. There's a small, almost imperceptible dark spot around the vine, flush against the wall. And that is where we will end for the day. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you hanging out in the actuality with the 5 of us, I guess. I'll include myself. For those of you that haven't yet or would like to, please follow our channel here. That way you can get notified of new programs and things when we're online. We've got Invisible Sunday every Sunday, even though it's not always us. So there is a wonderful gentleman that decided that he was going to show up in our stream today, that runs Invisible Sun on the off weeks that we're not doing the Soul's Direction. That's The Hole in the World over at Manapot Studios. Go check him out. It's a great show. And Zach's an awesome GM, and his cast are fantastic as well. You can catch us here every other Sunday at 3 Eastern, and then come back at 8 o'clock tonight Eastern as well. And we will be having a sit down in Angel's Citadel's Lounge, where we're going to have a fireside chat about tabletop role playing games. And tonight we're going to be having a special guest as well. So come check that out. And you can find us wherever you see the Angel Citadel logo, angelcitadel.com. We've got a link tree that we'll post a link to in our chat here, that you can follow us and chase us around the internet. And then from our group to yours, have a great Sunday and happy gaming.
Happy gaming.